with class, fantastic demeanor, and a wine glass filled to the brim. What you're going to hear is the finest in urban conservative talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brand new Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. Good morning. Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show. The Willie Lawson Show here on TECN, powered by SHR Media and syndicated by our friends at High Plains Talk Radio. We hope that everyone is doing well. Good morning, Tony. We are also doing our best to broadcast live on Facebook Live. If that's something that we should continue to do, I'd love to hear from you. You can just send me an email at WLS860@gmail.com. That's WLS860@gmail.com. I'd like to hear that if something that you would like us to continue to do, and then we will make provisions to do that and make that a better experience for all. Again, thank you again for tuning in. Today, we are going to hit a couple of things on Fun Friday. We're going to hit a couple of things. We're going to hit that. Isn't it refreshing that we've got a president that is actually doing what they said they were going to do? I think that's the part that's got the left the most freaked out, that he's just doing the things that he said he would do. And I've said this to you before, and I'll probably say it 100 more times before this is all done. I really wish that. Good morning, Paul Swanson from the frozen tundra of Bayfield, Wisconsin. I would be more comfortable had these things, taken place legislatively. Yeah. Of course, I'd be much happier if these things were being taken care of legislatively and not by executive action. I won't be happy that Donald Trump has 100+ executive orders in his first 100 days. That's not going to make me happy as a conservative. But it is refreshing that this president basically Monday morning rolled up his shirt sleeves and got to work. And doing the things that he said he was going to do, not finding ways to weasel out of his campaign promises, not finding ways to say, you know what, this is going to be a lot more difficult than I had thought, and that was the pushback, not just by Democrats but by Republicans. You know what, he's saying all these things, but he doesn't really know how hard they are, and blah 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 blah. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that the person that everyone thought was the least capable seems to be the most capable? Seems to be the most capable. It's like the person who is the least religious doing the right thing more than the religious leaders. I think that's interesting that the person that everybody thought was the least capable is obvious. Is apparently everyone was wrong. It seems to be the most capable. Paul Swanson is on the Facebook call and says he's done more in the first week than most other first-time presidents. Yeah, if you can in 100 days get 2 or 3 things of your agenda accomplished, normally it's normally seen as a successful first 100 days. But again, Donald Trump has changed the landscape. He's changed how all this is done, obviously. He's just changed how it's done. Apparently, it's not the first 100 days, it's the first 100 hours. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do right away? And he's taken out his executive order pen and really gone to town. So it's going to be very, very interesting how all of this plays out. I just think it's refreshing that we've got somebody who said who is basically doing what they said they were going to do. Somebody who's closer to the right on a lot of policies. Now, I'm still not going to call Donald Trump a rock solid conservative like Mike Pence. I'm not going to go that far. I have not drank all of the Kool-Aid because this was water. See here, you hear that? There's some even water left. You know what? So I've not drank all the Kool-Aid. I'm thinking that Donald Trump is this rock solid conservative. I'm not thinking that for one single second. But you know what? I am impressed. Anybody who appreciates accomplishment has got to be impressed by what Donald Trump has pulled off so far. Now, will he be able to keep it? That's the next thing. So it's going to be interesting. So let's talk about the wall. Everyone's been talking about the wall, and I don't know. I haven't talked about the wall lately, so I think I will talk about the wall. This is the wall that Donald Trump is planning between the United States and Mexico on our southern border, southwestern border for the most part. Now, it's interesting. Estimates are that this wall is going to cost upwards of $20 billion. Is that right? Tony and Paul, who are on the call on Facebook, do I have that number right? Do I have that number right, guys? About $20 billion, upwards of $20 billion. Well, if that's right, I thought to myself, because I do think to myself, most days I think to myself, I said, self? Yes, to compete the wall, started wall, will be about $20 billion. Now, I said to myself, self, listen, $20 billion is an awful lot of money. It's an incredible sum of money. But then we looked back just a few short years. See, this is the benefit of perspective. Looked back a few short years and said, wait. Didn't Barack Obama push out an $800 billion stimulus plan, and most people never saw a nickel of that money? Most people can't tell you how it was spent still. $800 billion? And even because I went to public school, I know that 20 is less than 800. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? So I thought, interesting. It's just kind of amazing that, and nobody batted an eye. We didn't have people hopping up and down. We had people on the left hopping up and down saying, "How could you spend $800 billion? How could you do that?" Well, supposedly the reason was that we were spending $800 billion to shore up the economy. And what's the reason for the wall? To spend $20 billion to shore up the economy, to stop the flow of illegal drugs that are killing our children, to provide a respite for Glow Smith's in the house. Golly, I love Glow Smith. Glow Smith's going to be on the show in February too. You know what? That's the deal, though. You know what? So to build the wall to do what? To shore up our economy, to save American jobs. It's ostensibly for the same thing, but it's. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? $20 billion? And I know that $20 billion is an awful lot of money. Please. You know, a government spending $20 billion, doesn't send a tingly feeling down my leg, like Chris Matthews. But when we're talking about people, you're talking about government, especially federal government, when we're talking about all that sort of thing that federal government does, it doesn't seem that crazy. It seems like that may indeed be a decent investment. It seems to be a decent investment. Like Paul said, to stem the flow of illegal aliens coming into the country, combined with stopping the or putting on pause the refugee program. Seems like a bit of time to get stable, and figure out what's going on. All right, we're gonna take a little break. We'll be back with more of the Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network right after these messages. Innovation, inspiration, and imagination. Three important characteristics that are important in any business, but especially in real estate when you're looking for your forever home. And when that home is a new home, there are very, very many things that must go right. The financing must be on point. The furnishings must be on point. The location and neighborhood must be on point. And if you need someone to get that right the first time, you have to go to my friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay. That's New Homes of Tampa Bay. You can reach him on the web at www.newhomestpa.com. If you're looking for innovation through technology, inspiration, and imagination through hard work, www.newhomestpa.com. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to send flowers. No reason to wait until you miss a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day to send flowers. All you have to do is get a hold of my friend Christine at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. That's www.bloomingdays.com. And tell her that you want to send the very best, that you care enough to send the very best. One of FTD's top florists in all of the United States, always in the top 100 of flower shops in the United States. That's Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. Forget calling 1-800-something, www.bloomingdays.com. It's great to have partners, but it's even better when one of your partners is one of the finest urban conservatives in America. That's my friend Kevin Batts. Kevin Batts of Red River Chronicle TV. Red River Chronicle TV is taking the internet by storm. With fabulous production, amazing commentary, and incredible insight, Red River TV is the thing that we'll all be watching in 2017. They are the people, Kevin and his wife Janelle, are the voices that are going to make the difference in urban America in 2017. So get in on the ground floor. Go to www.redriverchronicle.com and subscribe to Red River TV today. All right, welcome back to the Willie Lawson Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. We are powered by SHR Media, and we are being syndicated by the great folks at High Plains Talk Radio. Now, if you're a High Plains Talk Radio listener and you've been listening to the show this week, please let me know. Please send me an email at WLSTECN. That's WLSTECN at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I know their reach is a lot in the Midwest and in that area that elected Donald Trump. So I'd love to hear from you. I also want to make sure that you know today is Friday, and following this program on the Exceptional Conservative Network is Melanie Collette. Melanie Collette, her show is Money Talk with Melody. It's with Melanie. It's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about all the time. One of the biggest problems in urban America is that we have generational dependency and not generational wealth. And Melanie approaches these subjects in a really, really sort of blunt, get your act together kind of way, and we appreciate that. We appreciate Melanie. Again, Melanie is going to be on right now at 10:05 here on the Exceptional Conservative Network on this Friday. All right. Oops, and I just threw all my Facebook Live listeners on their face. Sorry, guys. There you go. Cords everywhere. Big floppy feet everywhere. All right, we're back. We're talking about Donald Trump building the wall, and it looks like it's happening. It looks like it's really happening. I'm curious to see how it turns out. It seems like the wall is not going to be some term for something else. Now, I know that there are going to be technological advances in some areas that would build up security. Obviously, I don't know. Should we be expecting a 75-foot tall sort of Great Wall of China wall with gun turrets and hot oil coming, hot oil over the top? What should we expect? Has anybody seen any plans for this wall? Anybody ever seen what it might look like? How big it might be? I know that during the campaign, Donald Trump would always mention the wall just got a little bit taller. Whoa. Wall just got a little bit taller, which frankly I thought was kind of a funny little thing. But I'm really curious. Has anybody seen any plans? I have not seen any plans. If you have, email them to me. Again, 75-foot tall with gun turrets and rocket launchers on the top, and what holes in it that spray out hot oil. So if you try to climb it, it's back in the day. You pour the hot pitch over the side. So if they tried to climb with a ladder, this would happen. How is this happening? So I'm curious. I am curious. So we'll have to see how that works. Good luck to Donald Trump, because quite frankly, the urban community will benefit the most from stemming the tide of illegal immigrants into America. Especially economically, and in the south western portion of the United States, in California especially. Although Jerry Brown is screaming and yelling and banging his shoe on the dais how he's going to fight Donald Trump. He's going to fight Donald Trump and his policies, and they're not going to affect California. Just Rainbow Brown is just having a conniption. It's interesting. I think that this is sort of, when we see California and we see Jerry Brown, this is sort of the last screaming and yelling of a dynasty that is on its way out. It's on. I think it's on its way out. I really don't think that that liberalism and progressivism, like we've seen it in the past 100 years, is long. So I think that, exactly. Paul Swanson, California can't pay their bills currently. And even though some of the starflakes in California have gotten secession on their ballot, my thing is I'd like to see you do it. I'd like to see you do it. Go ahead. Where are you going? Then what? This whole succession thing, excuse me, that some of the California, like this Cali exit thing they're talking about, if they think that Donald Trump doesn't have a plan for building a wall, or that Great Britain didn't have a plan for what happens after Brexit, nobody has a plan for what happens if California decides to leave the Union. Do they think that other states will go with them? No, when they go, they'll go by. When you go, you will go by yourself. You better be ready to go by yourself. You better be ready to defend yourself. You better be ready to do everything yourself. It seems like California is acting like, and that's not surprisingly, is acting like the petulant child. I've been blessed. I've not had one of those in my house. But it seems like they've been like the petulant child. They didn't get their way. So what they're going to do is, we're going to leave. We're going to run away. Until they figure out, you're not going. Until they figure out that life is expensive and dangerous, you're not going anywhere. You're not freaking going anywhere. So this whole idea of we're going to hold our breath until we get our way is just absolutely positively incredible. That grown people, that's the thing, grown folks, really? Grown people? The governor of the guy who's been governor of California twice? Rainbow Jerry Brown, really? Okay. We'll see. We'll see when the urban community in California figures this out, and they will. They figure this out that, you know what, now if there is a cessation of illegal immigrants in Southern California, that their lives will improve, that there'll be more jobs, that there'll be more opportunity, that there'll be less crime. As soon as they figure that out, then what? And this is what the left doesn't, and this is the crazy part for urban America, this is what the left doesn't want urban America to figure out. They don't want urban America to figure out that their policies and plans and programs for the past 80 years have failed miserably. They're scared to death that urban America is figuring that out. And I mention this number all the time. When 13% of African American males who are traditionally disconnected are traditionally disconnected with the political process, when 13% of them who are decide to cast a ballot for Donald Trump, that they're going to get active, and this time around in probably one of the most hotly contested, hard fought, nasty, down in the dirt, mud slinging crap fests of a presidential election, decide to cast a ballot for Donald Trump. Are you serious? Yes, that's what happened. So the left saw that. Now they won't admit to it. None of them will admit to it. Not one of them. You couldn't get one of them on MSNBC or CNN to admit to it that they saw this, and they've had the biggest oh crap moment, that we are losing our grip. We're losing our hold. We have been found out that we have been failures. You know, I went through some of the yesterday and earlier in the week. I went through some of the Donald Trump's New Deal for Black America, and what the left is most afraid of is that Donald Trump will be successful. They are most afraid that he will be successful. Why? Because then people will figure out, longtime supporters of Democrats and liberals will figure out that it was them that were on the wrong side of history. And it was the Democrats who had been lying to them. It was the liberals who had been lying to them. It was NBC, MSNBC, CNN that had been lying to them. And you know what happens when you figure out over some time that somebody had been lying to you over a long period of time? That breaks that relationship, and it takes a lot, if ever, to get it back. And that's what they're freaking out about the most, because they know that this relationship is about to be broken. They figured out that we have found out that they have been lying to us. Now, some of us have been saying that they're lying for a long time. It's been me and Alfonso Rachel and K. Carl Smith, and C.L. Bryant and Shirley Huzar and Sonny Johnson, Lonnie Poindexter, Bob Wright of Black and Right. There have been a lot of people who have been saying, guess what? They're lying, and we can prove it. And now, again, the most unlikely vessel that could have ever happened in the form of Donald Trump has shown up and is helping urban America, and especially urban conservatives, show the failures of the left. Who would have thunk? who would have thunk that this New York Republican, who generally, frankly, is a moderate in every single way possible, that quite frankly probably agrees with Jeb Bush on a lot more things than he actually disagrees with Jeb Bush on. Just being honest, but wanted to win so badly, is going to be the one to help us deliver the message of conservatism to urban America. Would have never guessed. Would have never guessed. But that's the way it seems to be going. And it seems to be just in the nick of time. The president mentioned that if Chicago doesn't get its act together soon, that he's thinking about sending in the feds. I don't know if you know, but in 26 days there have been 45 murders in Chicago. In 26 days, there have been 46 murders. There's been hundreds of shootings, 46 murders in Chicago, and I ain't talking about people who are unarmed being shot by the police. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about crime-related murders in Chicago in the first 26 days of this year. It is almost inconceivable that you could have that level of murder, shooting, insanity in just 26 days. In 26 days. And all it's gotten is worse. Absolutely amazing. And when people who live in places like Chicago figure out that Trump's plan, his New Deal for urban America, includes them, because they live in this dangerous place that he mentioned, and they want something to be done, something that a black president from Chicago couldn't get done or wouldn't get done. This could be the beginning of the Great Migration. Could this be the beginning of the Great Migration of urban voters moving back to the Republican Party? Now, I'll be honest with you. This is not the Republican Party. This is not the Republican Party that's the Reagan Republican Party by any stretch of the imagination. Trump is not Reagan. Please stop comparing Trump to Reagan. Trump is not Reagan. Trump is only Reagan in the sense that nobody saw it coming. That nobody saw it coming to the degree that it happened. But Trump's not Reagan. So it's not black people going back or people in urban America going back to the party of Reagan. Trump is not George Bush. Trump is not Abraham Lincoln. But what Trump is not Barack Obama. Trump is not Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or Hillary Clinton. So could we see a migration back to the Republican Party? I believe there's an opportunity. I don't know if it'll happen, but I believe there is an opportunity if done correctly. If the right people are in the forefront, I don't think that Reince Priebus could lead this migration back to the Republican Party for people in urban America. I don't believe that he's the one. However, there are very important voices, black voices, I'll just be honest with you, black voices that are ready to do just that. Now, I personally have said many times, I am not a shill for the Republican Party. I don't get paid by the Republican Party to recruit. I am not here to turn people into Republicans. I don't have any time for that. I'm here for one reason only, to have people think about their communities a little differently. Can you think about your communities a little differently? Can you get out there and do something and not wait for big mama government to show up to do something? Right? So that's what I'm about. I believe that we can do what we need to do ourselves. I said this a long time ago, that we are the ones that we have been waiting for, and that's what I'm all about. That is what I'm all about. I'm all about knowing that we already have the resources, and we already have the people. Some of the people I've already mentioned. Ken McClinton, whose show broadcast here on the Exceptional Conservative Network Monday through Thursdays at 9:05 p.m. and on Sunday nights at on Sundays at 9:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. People like Ralph Chittum's, Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. and Lonnie Poindexter's, whose show is on the Exceptional Conservative Network Monday through Friday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The right guys. So, you know what? We already have the voices. We already have everything that we need. And none of these people are interested in turning people into Republicans. But what will happen is if you start looking at your community introspectively, and you start looking at the plans from the two sides, you are probably going to pick the more Republican side to the equation more often, because that's the one that gives you the most freedom. That's the one that gives you the most leeway to do things like you're going to do them. Frankly, that's the one that you're probably going to get the least amount of money from. So and with having less money, you're going to have more control. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'll explain that to you here in a little bit. I promise that I will get back and explain that to you. With less money, that you will have more control. And I've got, I think, a great example. You know, I said in church yesterday that one of the great things about getting older is that you always have stories, and you have stories about just about everything, just about everything. So we'll definitely approach that. Next week, we have Monday. We have John Daly, not the golfer, the author. A guy who has written a number of books about social media and social media as it affects politics is going to be on the show. On Monday, we're going to talk about how social media has affected politics, especially in this last election cycle. And we're going to talk about what's the next great thing, because I always want to know what the next great thing is. I know that I'm broadcasting on Spreaker, and at the same time broadcasting on Facebook Live. I don't think any of us saw Facebook Live coming in, or Facebook Live blowing up like it has, but it's been very, very helpful. So I don't know what the next great thing is, but maybe John knows, and we'll talk about that on Monday. So be sure to tune in at 9:05. Also remember that we are still in our fundraising mode here at fightbackmedia.com. Go to fightbackmedia.com. If you like what we do, go to www.fightbackmedia.com and click the donate button right next to my picture. I would appreciate it. We need $1,000 before the end of the month to get done things we need to get done. So anything you can do to help us will be appreciated. We'll be back right after these messages. Innovation, inspiration, and imagination. 3 important characteristics that are important in any business, but especially in real estate, when you're looking for your forever home. And when that home is a new home, there are very, very many things that must go right. The financing must be on point. The furnishings must be on point. The location and neighborhood must be on point. And if you need someone to get that right the first time, you have to go to my friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay. That's New Homes of Tampa Bay. You can reach him on the web at www.newhomestpa.com. If you're looking for innovation through technology, inspiration and imagination through hard work, www.newhomestpa.com. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to send flowers. No reason to wait until you miss a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day to send flowers. All you have to do is get a hold of my friend Christine at Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. That's www.bloomingdays.com. And tell her that you want to send the very best, that you care enough to send the very best. One of FTD's top florists in all of the United States, always in the top 100 of flower shops in the United States. That's Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. Forget calling 1-800-something, www.bloomingdays.com. You're tired of the cold? You're tired of the taxes? It's time to move to Florida. And our friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay is the perfect person to help you. You can just give Gary a call at 813-770-9452, or you can go to the website to look for your brand new home at www.newhomestpa.com. Move to Florida. It's about time. Information is crucial when you're looking to purchase a new home. With so many choices of communities and options, choosing the right one for you and your family can be a daunting task. That's why you need to go to New Homes of Tampa Bay right now, www.newhomestpa.com, and get the information you need. Learn how people save thousands of dollars when purchasing new homes. Buy like the pros. New Homes Tampa Bay, www.newhomestpa.com. Nothing fits a home perfectly than a brand new grand piano. And if you're looking for a piano for your brand new home, you've got to visit Dave's Piano. And that's davespianoshowroom.com. If you're looking for the perfect thing to set off your new home, a piano is what you're looking for. And my friend Dave has the perfect piano for you. And the best thing about buying a piano from Dave is that he does everything. He delivers, he sets up, he tunes, he takes care of everything. The best part about Dave's Piano, quite frankly, is Dave. So when you buy a piano from Dave's Piano Showroom, you only deal with Dave. You can reach them at www.davespianoshowroom.com. That's davespianoshowroom.com. You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservative.com. All right. We were saying a little bit ago that we are in our fundraising mode. We didn't fundraise in October, November, or December, or quite frankly, most of January. But in order to get things done the way that we need to get things done, it just takes resources. I wish it could be done with the tiers of liberals, but it can't be. They are non-negotiable. They're not legal tender. They ought to be because they're flowing freely. So what we have to do is that we have to go to our listeners, we have to go to our viewers, and we have to say, you know what? Are you going to help us? Are you going to help us get this done? It isn't that we just do this on Facebook or we do this on Spreaker or iHeartRadio. That's not enough. What we need to do is we need to get into the chicken joints and the rib shacks and the churches in the urban community around America with the voices that can make a difference, the voices that have the message and the medicine that urban America needs so badly. That's what we have to do. And in order to do that, it just takes resources. I'd love to be able to, I don't know, pay Nadra Enzi to fly across the country with snowflake tears. But you know what? He's a grown person who has responsibilities and bills and stuff. So if I asked Nadra Enzi, would you fly to Southern California to speak to some young people about being an urban safetyist, to take charge of their own community, he's the perfect person to do it. But it's going to take some money to get him there. So if indeed you think what we're doing is worth it, and if you're willing, just go to www.fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and where we are trying our best to crush the dangerous and destructive narrative of the left in every place and everywhere that we find it. Thank you. All right, we're back, and we're closing up today's show. We've hit a lot of things, and there are a lot more things. I believe there are a lot more things coming. I think there are a lot more things coming. A lot of things that we have, especially in the urban community, have not considered. The opportunities that we have not considered. We're going to talk about the concept, and maybe we'll get Melanie to come on for a while next month to talk about the concept of generational wealth and generational dependency, because what we have now, what the Democrats have provided for urban America, has been generational dependency. Thanks to Lyndon Johnson's war. Hang on a second, guys. Thank you. I need to see behind there. Lyndon Johnson's war on the poor. We have developed generations of dependency. When it becomes a sort of rite of passage for young girls when they turn 18 to go get their EBT card. Well, you're 18. It's time for your EBT card. Why? Because if the 18-year-old girl has an EBT, and Mama got an EBT, and Grandmama got an EBT, now they got more money in the house than they did before. Generational dependency. So as soon as they're eligible to get their own EBT, they got to get their own EBT because they're still in the same house, right? So that's how we stay hooked. It isn't generational wealth where grandma went to college and got a degree and is a doctor. So mama went to college and got a degree and is a lawyer. And so it's time for you to go to college to be an electrical engineer. That's generational wealth. That's what generational wealth is. That's not what we have yet. That's not what we have in our community. That's not what we have in urban America. And I think that we have an opportunity now, more than ever, for this message to get to the places it needs to get. You know what? I'm always excited by the number of live listens, and I'm always excited about the number of archive listens to the show. I ain't gonna kid you. I'm competitive. I like to see the numbers roll, but that's not nearly as important as being effective for real. Effectiveness that we can see generationally. And so in order to do that, we're going to have to, like I said before, we're going to have to get into the rib joints and the chicken shacks everywhere, and get this message to where it's supposed to be. I thank God for Ken McClinton, who is the head of the Exceptional Conservative Network. As you've probably already seen, if you've listened to any of the Exceptional Conservative Network shows, we are all black. We partner with some really good people at SHR, but everybody on TECN is black. All 6 shows are black. Pastor Shannon and Michael Wright, who came on just before me, are black. As you can see on Facebook Live that you're talking to a black person. And Melanie Collette is black. Of course, Reverend Ralph and Lonnie Poindexter are black, and Kim McKinton is black, because we understand that it is our community around the country that is in the most desperate straits. Democrats talked a good game. They talked a good game for 80 years. They said all the right things. They got all the right people up in front of you. They said all the right things. They scared black people to death about this and that. They were good about scaring black people about Republicans and conservatives, and they bring up racism, and they bring up Jim Crow, which they created, by the way. They bring up the Ku Klux Klan. They're really good about scaring the crap out of people. But what they've not been really good at, and they're about to be found out, is making people independent, helping people to be independent, helping people to be actually stronger. They've not been so good about that, because that's never, and the reason is very simple, because that's never, ever been what they've wanted to do. They've always wanted to make people more dependent on them, because what happens, it allows the left or anybody in government to maintain their power, their position, and their prosperity. That's all they've really ever cared about. And the gig is up. The gig is up. We have found out the gig is up. 13% of African American males, 13% of black men. Black men, and it's men that's important, because it's men that are getting back into the leadership roles politically. Because it's been black women that we saw, that black women are the ones that fawned over Barack Obama, because Barack Obama was going to take care of them. It was going to get easier for them. Barack Obama was going to take care of them. He was the debonair black man with a beautiful black wife and the wonderful black children. And so in their eyes, he could see them. You see what I'm saying? He could see, you know what, in the eyes of a lot of black women in America, Barack Obama could see them. He was on their mind. They were on his mind through the eyes of his wife and his children. Although he wasn't, they weren't on his mind through the eyes of his wife and his kids, and that breakup will be a very difficult breakup. We saw it on social media. We saw people at the end of the term, right before the inauguration, everybody's throwing up their Barack Obama pictures on their Facebook on their Facebook pages, and changing their profile pics to Barack Obama or Michelle Obama. We're going to miss you. Don't go. What? Don't go? They stayed longer than we thought they would stay, and they stayed as long as you're allowed to stay. Don't go. What do you mean don't go? You got to go. It's been 8 years. Time to go. Thanks, everybody. But you know, it's crazy. But that's the same sort of emotional attachment that's been leading urban America. It is the emotional attachment, basically by black women. So it was interesting to see that black men in this particular election basically broke off from black women politically and did something else. 13% is a huge number when that number was negligible before. 13% is a huge number, which tells us we have a tremendous opportunity coming up, an amazing opportunity coming up in the next little bit. Help us take advantage of that. Thanks, Gary, and thanks, Paul, for sharing the Facebook Live video. I appreciate that. But again, we have a great opportunity, and we have to take advantage of it. If we don't, and things don't get better in 4 years for urban America, my fault and your fault. We could have, but we just didn't. And the sad part about it is because we probably didn't want to. We'll be back right after this. Innovation, inspiration, and imagination. 3 important characteristics that are important in any business, but especially in real estate, when you're looking for your forever home. And when that home is a new home, there are very, very many things that must go right. The financing must be on point. The furnishings must be on point. The location and neighborhood must be on point. And if you need someone to get that right the first time, you have to go to my friend Gary Knight at New Homes of Tampa Bay. That's New Homes of Tampa Bay. You can reach him on the web at www.newhomestpa.com. If you're looking for innovation through technology, inspiration and imagination through hard work, www.newhomestpa.com. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to send flowers. No reason to wait until you miss a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day to send flowers. All you have to do is get a hold of my friend Christine at Blooming Days Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. That's www.bloomingdays.com. And tell her that you want to send the very best, that you care enough to send the very best. One of FTD's top florists in all of the United States, always in the top 100 of flower shops in the United States. That's Blooming Days Flower Shop, www.bloomingdays.com. Forget calling 1-800-something, www.bloomingdays.com. It's great to have partners, but it's even better when one of your partners is one of the finest urban conservatives in America. That's my friend Kevin Batts. Kevin Batts of Red River Chronicle TV. Red River Chronicle TV is taking the internet by storm with fabulous production, amazing commentary, and incredible insight. Red River TV is the thing that we'll all be watching in 2017. They are the people, Kevin and his wife Janelle, are the voices that are going to make the difference in urban America in 2017. So get in on the ground floor. Go to www.redriverchronicle.com and subscribe to Red River TV today. This is a production of Fight Back Media Group. For more information, go to www.fightbackmedia.com. All right. Thanks, Ken, for sharing the video. We appreciate that. I am blessed beyond belief that we've been able to get through the week. Fight Back Media Group has a big old cable bill that's out there that has not been paid yet. We're still believing God that we get the funds in to pay the cable bill so we can continue to do this. That's part of the need. That's part of how we're able to do this. I mean, it doesn't happen by accident. No. Spectrum doesn't let us do this because we're doing the right thing and we're doing a community service and we love the people we live around. I love my neighbors here in my neighborhood and my general community in East Tampa and in Tampa and across the planet. Nope. They make us pay like everybody else. So we could use your help at www.fightbackmedia.com. Today would be helpful so we can make sure that we can do this on Monday morning. Listen, thanks for tuning in today on Facebook Live and on Spreaker and on the TECN network. We appreciate it. Until we see you again, I want you to go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you.